everyone. It is Wednesday, the seventh day of June. 7 days in the books. Boom. Yes, it is. That is what I am telling you. How are you doing today? What are you grateful for this very what day? Tell me it's Tuesday. It feels like a Monday. What day is it in your world? What day is it in your world? That is what we want to know tonight. Tell me about as we feel groovy here tonight on this Wednesday night. Oh, getting my stretches in. Been that kind of boom boom day. Hey Carrie, how are you tonight? Great to have you with us live. How are things in Florida? Hopefully the customers are loving the new store. I am confident they are. I'm feeling it. I am. Hey, staff to cover. You just frantic cleaning in the back room. I love it, Kelly. I love it. But are the clocks also there? I recall clocks back there. I remember clocks from our last Zoom. Maybe I'm mixing things up, but I remember clocks. Hey, and no yoga. Well, then surprise yoga in my session tonight. We are broadcasting tonight on both Facebook and YouTube. Any problems with Facebook, just hop on over to YouTube. I am over there. It will come, Carrie. It will come. The traffic will come. That's a busy street. That is a busy street. And as you get more notice, especially once your sign is up, the traffic will come. Ooh, a new grandfather clock. I'm more the cuckoo clock variety, but I always liked a grandfather clock. I have no practical purpose for a grandfather clock any more than I have a practical purpose for a cuckoo clock. But I always loved looking at them both um, and watching them. I remember at my grandmother's house and my aunt's house, looking at the grandfather clocks, especially. I remember seeing those. So I do have a fine appreciation for them, a appreciation of fineness, a fine appreciation, something like that. I like looking. I don't have a way that they fit into our decor. And when I went from being single to not being single, that ended the cuckoo clock. So you know the rest of that story. I don't need to tell you the rest of that story. You know how that played out. When I was single, I had a cuckoo clock. When I wasn't, no cuckoo clock. Go figure. Things the movers break. What can I tell you? So the story goes. Let's get started, folks, with the Stay Positive book. The Stay Positive book is how we roll tonight. Tonight we are on page 236. Oh, I like this. Often the biggest competitor for our hearts is the stuff that's in our hands. Be careful not to value things more than people. It's not always the smartest thing or the strongest who win. The smartest or strongest who win. It's the one who are the most willing. It is not always the smartest or the strongest who win. It's the ones who are the most willing. Hey, April, how are you? I feel like you're just continuing picking on me from picking on me earlier today. I think you had a meeting with Florida Angie, and it was just all picking on Neil. See how we can get in our own heads? See how we can get in our own heads? Okay, I got a few things up for you tonight on this Wednesday, our first Wednesday in Meeting of the Minds. Yes, great minds, you and Angie. Um, you know, but Angie told me I couldn't join it because it was already too loud there, wherever you were. I'm assuming scooters, but who knows? Uh, So we've got 1 week down in January. Okay, our first 7 days are in the books, which is awesome. First 7 days. Um, but I got a few things for you tonight. So I got a few things for you that I've been thinking about tonight that I thought I would talk about, and we'll go from there. Our friends at the Financial Protection Bureau, yes, FTC, have issued a warning, alert, alert, alert. Uh, it's June. See, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. At meetings, I've been out, I did stuff. I did more before 9 a.m. today than most people do all day. Oh, I'm just okay. Let me steal from the army there for a second. Our friends at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, have issued a business alert slash warning, and it is one that is worth heeding, and it is one that I personally have always heeded. But I'm a big guy for small banks. I am not going back to January. Do not worry. I apologize if I said January and not June. Okay, I do apologize for that. But so they are reminding you business owners, and this is a good reminder. And I've had talks with some of you about this on an ongoing basis. A lot of you use PayPal and Venmo and things like that. Those accounts that you set up for your business, you use those as slush funds. Okay. And what I mean by that is not that you're doing anything necessarily wrong with it. It's not like that's your fun money or not completely your fun money, but I know some of you use that as your fun money. Okay, but it's sort of like your kitty your kitty of cash, okay, the side that you forget about. And it's sort of your rainy day fund. It can be your rainy day fund. It can just be money you forget about. Um, and I understand why you leave it over there. What the Consumer Protection Financial Protection Bureau is warning about is those are really banks. Okay, they are financial institutions of sorts. Okay, they are tech companies at heart, operating in the financial space, but that money doesn't have the same protection. Okay, it also doesn't have the um, same ease of resolution should there be a problem. Okay, should you have a problem? Okay, the with PayPal. Let's just pick. I'm going to pick on PayPal for a minute because I went into our PayPal account today. And should you have a problem with them, getting to a person, getting that resolved is not easy. If someone hacks your account, if someone takes your money, it is not as easy as walking down to your bank and saying, "Hey, Lucy, I had a problem." And they say, "Hey, Neil, no problem. We'll fix it." So what they are recommending what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is recommending with those services, and I am echoing that recommendation, is make regular withdrawals. Send money from that to a regular bank. Okay, even if you create another bank account, okay, so that you have your stash somewhere. I understand the reason for the stash. Okay, everybody likes their secret stash. Okay, of cash. Okay, it gives safety. It gives comfort. So even if it's at a bank in another state, like you don't want to be able to touch it easily, but you want to know that it's there. That's fine. I don't care about that. But an actual financial institution that is covered by the FDIC, that is covered um, by federal regulation much more than the PayPal, Venmos, Cash Apps, etc. of the world. And that is the lesson, that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau wants people to know, and I am echoing it. Not that there is any imminent disaster planned with any of those. It's just that it doesn't have the same protection. So I don't leave a lot of money in those. I move money out on a regular basis. Whether that's part of your end of month procedure, whether that's once a week you do it, just don't leave lots of money there. Okay. And what do I define as lots of money? Okay. Money that you wouldn't want to lose. Okay. And I don't like to lose any money, so that's a broad description. But I might leave a couple $100 in there or something, but I don't take the account down to zero. Um, but I do transfer money out on a regular basis so that it is uh, not sitting there. So that is a lesson. That is a lesson to learn. Uh, Kelly's accountant has her move it regularly. Yeah, it's just smart business. I mean, I always do it. I've talked about it with several of you before. Um, even one on one. I know why people leave money there. I really do because it's sort of that money that they forget about. It's sort of like I know it's there, but it's not there. Um, and the kids do love the apps. I don't have a Venmo. I don't have, I have a PayPal, but I don't have others. But it is, just not, it's who do you call when you have a problem? I love how easy these things are, but that's how easy it is for make the money go away. And our whole banking system is fairly easy to hack. I'm not going to get into the security of even a regular bank is fairly easy to hack these days. Um, but um, but there are protections in place if something happens to your account, and that is why you move money from an app-based system to a traditional bank. Okay, and I get that. Not having a regular bank, fine, I'm okay with that. Just have it somewhere. Um, I like the lesson from Overstock. Overstock.com, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, started just as that, a place for overstock. A place that was buying companies that were going belly up. They would actually, the CEO of that company, when companies were in financial distress, one of his hallmarks is he'd actually show up at distressed companies that were buried in inventory but had no money and were nearing the brink of bankruptcy. And he'd show up at the front desk, okay, and the receptionist be like, no, nobody can see you. And then he's like, here, take this card. And it would be his business card with his name on it. I don't know that it said Overstock, but and he would write on the back of the card, I have cash. And that would be his foot in the door at companies. And companies would meet with him thinking that he's there to save them, but he was really there as an inventory raider, and he would buy up all their inventory before it got taken away in the bankruptcy process for retailers. Um, but they've had a renaissance, and this is where it gets interesting for you guys. Or let me phrase that. I hope it gets interesting for you guys. They've had a renaissance in the last couple of years. What they realized, what's interesting, people who were buying health, beauty, jewelry, watches, and electronics didn't have the same loyalty and were much one and done customers. Um, and so they focused on consumers who purchased home products because they visit the site more frequently and they convert actually bought at a much higher rate. They bought at a higher rate. So having a selection of the home products and transitioning Overstock to a primarily home product based company has seen a renaissance for the company and what they've accomplished. So it's a good lesson in being a utility for your customers and understanding what your customers are coming to you for. What makes them a repeat customer? What makes them a one and done? What makes them somebody you've never seen, you'll never see again? If they're all about price, that's not a good customer because there's always somebody that'll have a lower price. Part of it has to be the experience. Part of it has to be how you make them feel, how you connect, the quality. of the offering to them. But I thought there was a real lesson there, a real lesson there, um, and it is an important one. Our friends at the National Retail Federation are calling on the Biden administration to get off and well, not off the duff. They're busy on a lot of things. Okay, they're busy on a lot of things, but we're about to have we're just moving from a self-inflicted debt ceiling financial crisis to a supply chain issue again because of labor negotiations in at the ports in California. Okay, so the labor unions who have been without a contract for a while now are actually causing issues at the port. They're shutting it down for days at a time. Last weekend, I think they shut it down. So you're starting to create a backlog at the ports again out west. Now, less of an impact because more things have shifted to other ports around the country, but still an impact. Okay, a lot of inventory comes through those ports, and now you're starting to get, as we head into July, you'll be getting Christmas merchandise. You'll have all that stuff hitting the port so that it can get to stores. But if it doesn't hit the ports because the longshoremen are holding things up. So our friends at the National Retail Federation are urging the Biden administration to get involved in that. And I share this information just so that you know what is going on, so that you're aware of what's happening in the traditional retail world because this affects everybody. Okay, supply chain issues can be good and bad for business. Okay, good and bad for business. So, obviously, if they can't get it someplace else, that's good. But if you're having problems getting basic supplies that you need, like the toilet paper shortage, that's not a good thing, and that has a trickle down effect on all sides of business. Um, the other thing that came out of the debt ceiling, so the that has gotten limited play in the news, so I want to make you aware of it, okay? Because this fall it is going to affect our consumers, okay? And so you need to be aware that this is happening. So one of the things in the debt ceiling deal, okay, is a an agreement that the student loan pause is over. Okay, so student loan repayment must start happening this fall. Um, basically the end of August, 60 days. The repayment process needs to start 60 days after June 30th, which puts us at Labor Day, basically. So happy Labor Day, pay your student loan. And while there are some people that have been saving their money, okay, and putting that money aside, okay, while the student loan pause has been in place for the last 3.5 years, there are many people that have not. Okay, and an average hit of at least $400. I think for many it's higher, but the average student loan payment they say is about 400 a month. Okay, that is going to be a wake up call for people because this money goes to other places in the economy over the last 3.5 years. People bought stuff, they bought houses, cars, clothes, whatever. They did things. They went on. Okay, and so it is something to be aware of. It is not something to fear. I don't tell you this to get you scared that you're going to have this slump come the fall because your customers are all going to be, $400 short in their budget. So I am not saying that. Okay. I'm not trying to stoke fear, but it will be a juggling act for some people, okay, for a portion of this economy. And there is over $1 trillion in student loan debt, okay, which is a whole problem. And whether the student loan forgiveness happens or doesn't happen, that's we're waiting on the Supreme Court. That'll get decided sometime this month. Even if it doesn't happen, that regular student loan repayment is going to start again. and people have these financial obligations of, they say $400 is sort of the average. I think it is higher than that from some that I know. Uh, it will be a good time to get people to consign with you for extra cash. And it'll be a good time to show the value, okay, that the quality you can get with resale. So it is a good opportunity as long as you get the inventory to the floor. Because if you have more shoppers, especially as you head into fall and Labor Day, back to school, back to the office, back to things, people spend more on themselves and on clothing. So showing them how that stretches their budget, how shopping resale can help stretch it is really an amazing thing. So that is a very good point, April, and I'm sure one of the great marketing ideas you have been working on. With Angie today, but that is a real thing. So I tell you that now you have time to prepare. Now you have time to think about that, both from a consignment perspective and from a um, and from a shopper perspective. So from getting new consigners and from a shopping perspective, this can be a great opportunity. It is not meant to scare you. It is meant to educate you. Okay, and unless you have a student loan, in which case let's work on knocking that out because we want to knock out all our debts. Uh, we want to knock out all our debts, but you know, and you know, we can work on fixing education, and that education and bearing kids in student loans is wrong. That's a different program. That's a different program. I'm not going to fix all that. But there is a lot to that. What was the other thing? The other thing I wanted to stick in your head tonight. The other thing I wanted to stick in your head tonight is Amazon Prime Day is coming. Prime Day is coming. They haven't announced when it'll be Prime Day this summer, and so I want you to be thinking about that. I know Angie and April are working on summer sale days and resale days, summer resale days, and we're going to have some great stuff on that, both in the public area, but a lot of stuff in the next level resale group, and we're going to be covering it in upcoming meetings. So know that's coming your way again, because everything's about planning. When you plan it, you plan your success. Okay, you can sit there and let life happen to you, or you can plan your success. And so this work that we're talking about now, that we're getting ahead of things, is actually an amazing thing. Hey, a staff member in July. Yes, they're coming. I mean, it's really not that big a secret. It's out there. It's out there. Or certainly the week of it is out there. Um, but it's thinking ahead, because so often as a busy entrepreneur running your stores or cleaning your back room, as Kelly likes to do, okay, you wake up and are like, oh, it's Prime Day, I should do something for my stores to get people to think about me. And so the time is coming, and we will have that ahead of time so that you can be thinking about it, because we want you to think about it. We want you to plan for it. We want you to plan your success. We want you to plan your success, because success is an inside game. It's in your head, it's in your game, and it is how you play. It is how you play when you plan for success. uh I'm going to leave you with this quote tonight, okay, from Amelia Barr, who's a writer. Okay, Amelia Barr, writer, teacher. It is always the simple that produces the miraculous. It is always the simple that produces the miraculous. Take that quote. You know what else you can take? This video and everything I talk about goes over to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell, ring it, so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with all your friends, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody run a better business. I'm here every Sunday and Wednesday at more 8 than ish, more 8 than ish every Sunday and Wednesday. But if you have a question in between, just email me, Neil, Neil at Next Level Resale, Neil at nextlevelresale.com. We start the program every night with the Stay Positive book, Stay Positive, people. Tonight we're on page 236. Often the biggest competitor for our hearts is the stuff that's in our hands. Be careful not to value things more than people. It's not always the smartest or the strongest who wins, it's the ones who are most willing. Everyone matters. Recognize and celebrate their unique gifts and potential. Call them up by challenging them to become all they were created to be. Affirm their worth. Tell them that they are part of a bigger plan and that they are loved. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like this party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We'll keep this party going, yes we will. But until then, or until Sunday at more 8 minutes, something you and you, but most importantly, you, yes, you. You're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you on Sunday.